So that day we discussed this question, I think, that epididymis is having three parts: caput, cauda, and third one. Who is going to tell me what is the third one?
Corpus.
Yes, Mishka, can you repeat, please, beta?
Corpus.
Corpus. So caput is at the beginning part. That means epidermis part, which is connected to the vas efferents. Caput is the middle part and corpus is the end part. So that's how it is arranged.
Okay, ma'am.
Anything else, anyone? So how was your score? Like you scored well in exam? Or you were like, how was your experience with the exam?
It was nice.
Nice, ma'am.
So you people were well prepared. Do you think we are moving in the correct direction, or do you want to suggest any change in the teaching methodology which we can follow so that we can do better in next exam?
Ma'am, correct direction.
Correct direction. Okay. So anything else, anyone, better? Any more doubt? If not, then we will move ahead. Should we?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Let me at least display the question one so that we can have a quick look at it and then we can move ahead. Because skeptically, I am very specific about examinations, and I feel if we analyze exams well, then we can do better for next examination. So so this is your biology paper, isn't it? Solution is there. Like any part, looking into any question, if you feel that you require any help, I'm just browsing this part, any word which is unknown to you. This part is actually new to you, no? Hydrophily and epidrophily, epihydrophily. Class?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So are you able to understand what is hydrophily, hypohydrophily and epihydrophily? So basically hydrophily means water is responsible for uh, as a pollinating agent during pollination. Now the difference between hydro and epiphyly, hypohydrophily and epihydrophily is in case of hypohydrophily, hypo means below or hypo means low. So that's why it is occurring below the water. Consider this is the water level. Flowers are located below water. So obviously the pollinating agent is water and it is totally submerged in water. Okay. Now if some plant is, this is in case of hypo. In case of plants like Rose. The main plant is having flower at the surface. You must have seen that lotus flower is always floating the surface. It is visible from outside. So what happens is, beta, water current is carrying it directly from the surface. So they don't have to travel through the water. It can float on the surface and pollination can be done. So that is how apihydrophyly works. Okay. Let's go to some next terminologies. These two parts we already had a thorough idea about. We talked about vegetative reproduction, apomixis, and then parthenocarpy. I hope that part is clear in everyone's mind.
Yes, ma'am.
Isn't it? Okay. See, I taught you this part also. Runner, sucker, offset. It's kind of sexual reproduction from the branches, but it is natural. So I cannot see much difference here. Every part we could discuss, but meiocytes pregnancy is called. As I have only answer sheets, it's very difficult for me to guess the question paper. So should we move ahead? If you give me green signal. Yes? We will continue with
Yes,
chapter
ma'am.
number 2. No problem. Okay, so that day we were discussing this chapter, that is reproduction in flowering plant, isn't it? So we started our discussion, but we finally now need to look into the chapter. This is reproduction in higher plants. In grade 11, you must have studied about different types of reproduction in bryophytes, in pteridophytes, in gymnosperm. What is the difference between reproduction of gymnosperm and why higher plants, that is angiosperm, is taken into consideration? Special consideration is taken for angiosperm. Can anyone give me a comparative data that what are the changes that is there in bryophyte, pteridophyte, gymnosperm and angiosperm? I think we should talk about this data here. First, then we will start. I know it is not part, but lot many comparative questions come from this chapter in NEET examination. That's why I want to make sure that do you have a clear idea about? So first we will start with bryophytes. Can anyone tell me what are bryophytes and what are they like their kind of reproduction procedure? Brief idea. Obviously, we are not going to talk much. Anyone? Class? Priyanshi, Yesha, Mishka, Kausha, Deesh. Bryophyte plant, who is the more major plant? Is it gametophyte or is it sporophyte? From that we need to start discussion. Class
Ma'am, gametophyte.
Yes. So that is the first topic, that here gametophyte is the major plant. In case of Pteridophyta, what is the case? Do they have gametophyte as a major plant or sporophyte?
Ma'am, sporophyte.
So pteridophytes, gymnosperm and angiosperm, all of these plants are having main plant as sporophyte. Okay. Now, question that can come, then are these three, what is the difference between pteridophytes, gymnosperm and angiosperm? What is so special about gymnosperm and angiosperm which makes them separate from pteridophytes? What is the specialty? Why they are classified? We need to understand that these two are coming under non-flowering plant, that is cryptogams, and these two are coming under flowering plant. So what is the meaning of this flowering and non-flowering plant? Can anyone tell me? Deesh, do you have any idea about this, beta?
Ma'am, I think so. Flowering plant means where fruits and development of fruits, vegetable means it is there, like angiosperm.
Okay, that is one idea. Anything else? Anyone? Any idea?
Ma'am, reproduction.
So what reproduction means? That's a very general statement, Kaushal. I think you must be having some kind of network congestion. We are not able to hear you, Kaushal, correctly. Can you repeat, please, beta? Kaushal, am I audible? Am I audible to you, Priyanshi? Priyanshi, am I audible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Let me know immediately the moment you, that's why I kept my video on. The moment you feel I'm speaking and you're not able to hear me clearly, you let me know, okay? Because today I have some network problem in my society. So, let me tell you, beta, here the main difference is development of reproductive part, that is flower. Flower is a complete structure where it can be unisexual flower, it can be bisexual flower, but in case of flower, there are ovules, there are ovaries, and there are other parts. In case of pteridophytes, they have male reproductive part and female reproductive part. Such well-designed flower is absent over there. Okay. Now, let us talk about the difference between gymnosperm and angiosperm. Who is going to tell me the difference between gymnosperm and angiosperm in case of reproduction? Anyone wish to talk about it? Difference between gymnosperm and angiosperm. This is very simple one I am asking. Huh? I expect answer from everyone.
Ma'am, in gymnosperm, ovaries are absent and in angiosperms, ovaries are present.
Very good. So as there is presence of ovary, so obviously what will happen, beta, as there is presence of ovary, the seeds that is ovule will be enclosed into a case. Understood? That's why angiosperms are having fruits developing. Consider karo, let us take example of mango. You can see mango seed is encased by so many things, no? There is a hard layer inside which mango seed is there. Then there will be a soft and edible part that we eat. Then there will be a skin outside जिसको हम peel करके we remove it. So all these layers and protection is modified ovary and seed is ovule. So this extra protection is not there in case of gymnosperm, although they have flowers obviously, but their ovules or seeds are naked. They are not covered by ovary. That's why they are called gymnosperm. Understood, everyone? What are the further bifurcation of angiosperm? How angiosperms can be like subdivided into two next part? What are the types of angiosperm? Can I know? Two types of angiosperm. Class. Shyama, can I hear from you? What are the two types of angiosperm? Mahi?
Monocot and
dicot. That is very simple. Monocot and dicot. So what do we mean by monocot? Why we are classifying someone as monocot? What are the characters of monocot? Yes, Dish, bolo.
Ma'am, they are single cotyledon. They and
Cotyledon is
dicots
what?
means,
What do we mean by
ma'am,
cotyledon?
single cotyledon means that they have one type of flowers, means single type of
No,
flowers.
no. See, you must be thinking, okay, ma'am, आप बोल रहे हो reproduction in higher plants, but why you are discussing this part? If you like, we discuss about these parts, all your misconceptions can be removed. What do we mean by cotyledon? What is cotyledon? It's not at all related to flower. Who is going to tell me what is cotyledon? क्योंकि हमें बचपन से वही पढ़ाया
Single
जाता है.
seed.
Not single seed, beta. Can you tell me rice is a monocot plant or dicot plant? Can you identify by looking into a plant that it is monocot or dicot? What are the tips by which you can identify that if it is a plant is monocot or dicot? Very simple answer I am asking from you, beta. No one? It can be identified easily by venation on leaf. See, generally monocot plants are having venation which is parallel venation. One minute. If this is the leaf, they have venation or marking in the leaf like this. Very rarely monocots have this type of venation. So this is called parallel venation. We need to work a lot on grade 11 concepts. And in case of dicot, if this is the leaf, it will have venation. Major venation is like this, but behind this major venation, you can easily find out this type of network-like structures. This type of venation is called reticulate venation. Understood? Next, character is, if you look into monocot roots, they have roots where no major main root is there. They have roots where bunch of roots are making a group. This type of roots are known as fibrous root. Whereas in case of dicot, you will be easily able to look into structure like this, where you have main taproot and then, so this one is the main root and other roots are coming from it. So this type of root system is called tap root system. Understood? So these are the things, and last but not least about cotyledon. Cotyledon means covering over the seed. If you notice any monocot seed, for example, आप अगर चावल या गेहूं देखो, so that is, or maize, consider situation of maize. Do not get confused by the external covering of maize. ऊपर जो रहता है ना भुट्टा छीलते वक्त, they peel it off and give it to you. That's not a seed coat. Individual seed के ऊपर जो coat रहता है, that is called seed coat here. They have only single cotyledon. Whereas if you look into chana, okay, the external brown covering, if you remove from soaked chana, you can see two cup-shaped structure or two, what I can say, katori-shaped structure over here. No, these are cotyledons. So monocot means single cotyledon is there, and dicot means two cotyledons. At the time of seed germination, these two cotyledons of dicot will convert them into leaf and form the cotyledonary leaf. So all these ideas need to be clear in your mind. If you think kahin pe bhi koi doubts hai, let me know. First we will clear that, then we will start with reproduction in our class. Anyone any doubt? I hope you know कि कौन सा life cycle haplontic होता है, कौन सा diplontic होता है. In bryophytes, the life cycle is haplontic or diplontic, or haplodiplontic. The main organism of bryophyte is haploid or diploid. We talked about types of life cycle in chapter 1. I told you कि दो options होते हैं. If the main organism is haploid, then after fusion of gamete, when there is formation of zygote, there is zygote meiosis, which is called zygosporic meiosis. And we don't call that as a zygote as of, we call it zygospore. Okay. And if the organism is diploid, then meiosis occur at the time of formation of gamete. So what do you think? Bryophytes are haploid or diploid? The major plant is haploid or diploid? Class? Take your time, think and let me know. What do you think, Yesha?
Haploid.
What is the opinion of other classmates of yours? Is bryophyte haploid or diploid? Dish?
Ma'am, haploid.
So in their case, you can you can see zygotic meiosis, isn't it? So all these things you need to remember over here. And as you give me green signal, should we proceed now for reproduction in higher plants? Can we go for it? So
Yes,
if
ma'am.
if at any point they never compare you during your board examination, they can straightforward ask questions from this chapter. But let me tell you, in CBSE, case-based question is generally coming from this chapter. If you see the trend of last year, sample papers, the case-based questions are generally coming from this chapter, that is reproduction in flowering plant. Now, in case of NEET, you will be having many questions which are have comparative analysis between bryophytes, pteridophytes, and gymnosperm. At that time, this concept will be very helpful for you to understand. Okay, so without much delay, we will start talking about the parts of flower. So if you look into a typical type of flower, flowers can be complete and incomplete. What do we mean by complete and incomplete flower? Can anyone tell me what is the meaning of complete flower and incomplete flower? Class? There was a chapter in grade 11 that is called plant morphology. I guess all of you must have gone through it. The flower part was the only part in this chapter which was not deleted. So I am expecting some answer from you. Anyone? Class, come on. This is a very simple question I am asking.
Ma'am, I
Ma'am,
think flowers which are complete means stamen, pistil, corolla, calyx, and which are incomplete means which do not have 4 holes.
Very good. Very good. This is what I was expecting. I don't know why you people are getting confused. 4 holes, if it is present in a flower, that means we call it complete flower. If any one of them is missing, we can call it an incomplete flower. Why I want you people to know that a flower may be incomplete even if it doesn't have calyx or corolla. It may be a bisexual flower where male and female reproductive part, both of them are present, but then also we can call it a incomplete flower if any of the other folds are absent. So flowers are having 4 floral holes. We call them floral holes. And it is often said that flowers are modified shoot. Can anyone let me know why we can call flowers as modified shoot? Shoot means root and shoot. The upper part of plant is called shoot. Yes, Mishka? So I have a very simple question here. Why flowers are called modified shoot? Why it is so? Anyone, any idea? So what are the characteristics of shoot? If you look into any shoot matlab jo part which is present at the upper level of like soil, you will be able to see that there are leaves, isn't it? And in between the parts where leaves are produced, there is a gap. This part is known as internode, isn't it? Yes or no? You know nodes and internodes?
yes, ma'am.
So similarly, if you look into a flower, In between every floral hole, there is a gap. First is calyx, then corolla, then gynoecium and androecium. Between all of them, there will be a gap present. And these gaps is comparable with the internode. Apart from that, obviously each and every part of flower is considered as modified leaf. So that's why we can consider the whole flower as a modified shoot. It is compared always with a shoot. A shoot का एक हिस्सा होता है, maybe in the apex or maybe at the tip. It will be modified as a shoot. Okay. So let us have a look into the parts of flower. Okay. A very simple, I know all of you know. Can anyone tell me the parts of flower? Anyone?
Ma'am, petals, sepals.
We will start from one direction. First, we need to talk about this part. What is this part called? Which is holding all other parts of flower. What is this part called? This is called thalamus, or it's another name, that is receptacle. So this thalamus, or in other word we can call it receptacle, its main role is it is holding all other parts of flower. Understood? Yes, no?
Yes, ma'am.
So then we will talk about this part, which is generally green in plants. What is this called? We call it calyx. Okay. Now there is a another terminology for this is sepal. So do you think there is any difference between these two terminologies, calyx and sepal, or are they same? Sepal and calyx, these two words are carrying same meaning, or is there any difference while we speak about them? Class? Kashish?
Ma'am,
Mahi?
ma'am, sepals are collectively called calyx.
Very good. So consider, if you look into a China rose flower, which you should do, you should collect the China rose or any other flower around you and you must have a look into it. Consider if you can see 5 such kind of structures. So each of them are called as sepal and the collection of all of them are called calyx. Okay. So that is something we need to remember. So what are their roles? What is the role of calyx? To protect the inner part. Generally, they are green in color, but in some rare cases, they may be having color also. This part is similarly known as corolla. So now, as higher grade students, you need to understand the meaning of calyx and corolla. So here in this case, we call them petals. So similar to sepals, each unit is called petals and their collection is called corolla. So what are the role of this corolla or petal? What is the main function? Why a flower needs to have corolla present in them? Anyone? Prachi, Krishang, Kashish, Jia, Shyama, Nakshatra. Response is really late. Kindly respond. I have never heard Prachi. Prachi, do you have any idea what is the role of corolla? Prachi, can you say a good evening to me?
Good evening, ma'am.
Have you ever heard about corolla, beta?
Yes, ma'am.
So what is a corolla's role? क्या करता होगा? Petals तो हम सबने देखा है. It is used a lot in decorative purpose. So any idea what is the role of corolla? उसके बगैर हम फ्लावर को सोच ही नहीं सकते. If you ask me, हम तो फ्लावर के उसी को देख के अट्रैक्टेड होते, फिर अंदर जो भी है, बाहर जो भी है, we are least interested. So what will be the main role of corolla's character? Anyone?
Ma'am, to attract insects for pollination.
Two people raised their hands, so I will ask them. Kausha and Yesha. Chalo, Kausha, you speak.
Ma'am, to attract insects.
Not only insect, beta.
Ma'am, pollinators. To attract pollinators.
Attract pollinators. Any kind of pollinators. Consider some flowers have special aromatic glands. Have you ever heard about Rafflesia?
No, ma'am.
Rafflesia is something you should know. I will show you the picture. Wait for a moment. Rafflesia is world's largest flower. Okay, but it stings it because it has like smell of rotten flesh. सड़े हुए मांस जैसी स्मेल है उसकी. So aesthetic beauty, if you ask me, it is zero. So, but why this is the situation where we are admiring a flower, and why that flower, in spite of being largest flower in the world, it's having rotten flesh like stuff smell? Because beta, obviously, this flower is having such smell because its pollinating agents are flies, special type of insects which get attracted towards this rotten flesh-like smell only. That's why Rafflesia itself is having that type of smell so that it can attract its target pollinating agent. Doesn't bother about how we feel about the smell. Understood? I will show you the picture of Rafflesia. We need to know about all these things. These are general knowledge. So kindly note it down somewhere. See the flower. Can you see? Is the screen visible, beta?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
See how big it is. Okay. But the only problem is it's having rotten flesh smell which attract the insect. It's one petal is equivalent to one plate that we are eating our food with. थोड़े scary भी दिखता है ना plant. ऐसा लगता है किसी दूसरे ग्रह से आया हुआ है. So these are different varieties of Rafflesia. So you can understand for plants their own priority is to attract the pollinating agent. Doesn't matter. The flowers which are blooming in the night time will have equivalent kind of smell and equivalent kind of color and equivalent kind of nectaries, that is taste. So the main function of this part, that is petal, is to attract the different types of pollinators, whatever it may be. The flower petals are having nectar glands also. Nectar is something which can be collected by the insects, especially honeybees create their honey from nectar itself. Now let us talk about this part. See, this part is known as anther. Okay, anther is what? Anther is the sac where pollen is produced and stored. If two lobes of anther are there, they are connected by a small piece of thread. It's like a kind of connection that is called connective. So what is connective? Connective is a tissue connects to anther lobes. Okay, and last but not least, this part is called filament. What is this role of this part? It is holding anther. Consider if a flower is wind pollinated. Okay, so in case of wind pollinated flowers, the anther needs to be up, no, so that wind can touch it and carry the pollen grains. In case of insect, the anther needs to be located somewhere near the nectaries. So at the time of collection of nectar, the pollen grains can be deposited at the surface of the insect. So filament is having variable length and variable structure, but its main part is to hold the anthers. Now these three together these three things are called androecium. Actually androecium, but due to typical spelling, as you like to, just to guide you not to commit any special spelling mistake, I pronounced it as androecium, but actually it's androecium. Okay, now androecium are having stamens. So again, similar concept, the way sepal is part, various sepals will combine to make calyx. Where same way, various stamens. You can see here two stamens are there. Both of these two stamens are collectively forming the male reproductive structure of flower, that is androecium. Clear to everyone? Yes, no? Am I audible clearly?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So let us now look into the last but one of the most important part of flower. This part is called stigma. It's called stigma. Okay. What is stigma? Stigma, it is the part where pollen get deposited? When there is fertilization procedure, we will talk about this in detail. This is the part where pollens get deposited and then they are carried to the internal part. This long structure is called style. Very unique name. सोचो style नाम है उसका, कितना style होगा उसमें. This, the main function of style is pollen tube pass through it. What happens, beta? This style is made up of solid cells. This is not a pipe-like structure. It is like a stick-like structure. But as soon as there is development of some relationship and pollen get deposited at stigma, the cells of style in between get dissolved and there is creation of a tube which is called pollen tube. And this pollen tube will carry the male gametes to the female gametes. So basically the role of style is to work as a connection between deposited pollen and the female gamete, that is ovum, that's situated inside the ovum. Last but not least part, this part is known as ovary. Here or inside ovary have ovules. Okay, and if you look into these black structures, they are ovules. They have female gamete. The development of female gamete as well as their storing is done inside ovule. So ovary are having ovule. Inside ovule there is female gamete. Is this concept clear? कई बार ऐसा होता है, people are having misconception that pollen grade is the male gamete. It's not. It is containing the male gamete. Similarly, ovules are not at all the female gametes. They contain the female gametes. Is it clear? Similar way, the way all of these parts are combined to form androecium, here all of these parts are making a structure called gynoecium or female reproductive part. Another, again I am saying, I am pronouncing E, but when you pronounce it correctly, it's not pronounced as gynoecium, it's pronounced as gynoecium. Okay, and the way that many stamens can comprise of androecium, same way for gynoecium there can be carpel, or another word is there, pistil. So many of the carpels or pistils are forming the gynoecium of the single flower. Is it clear, the parts of flower to you? Class?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you people there?
Yes, ma'am.
I have a doubt. Such long silence. You are listening to me attentively or आधा सर के ऊपर से गया या lost interest? That's what my question is. Are we going in the correct direction?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So that is all about parts of flower. First, as a we need to know about parts of flower. Let me tell you one more thing. This androecium and gynoecium are known as essential holes of flower, because the main objective of flower is to go for reproduction. If they are not there, that flower is only for the purpose of decoration. Such flowers are present. There may be flowers which are called neuter. Neuter flowers are something which doesn't have any male part or female part present in them. They are considered as sterile flower. But the essential whole is androecium and gynoecium. Okay. So we will now talk about the events of sexual reproduction. Same way the way we talked about human reproduction. We divided it into pre-fertilization and then post-fertilization. Here also it is same. We can divide it into pre-fertilization. So what is pre-fertilization? Pre-fertilization means this is something which is very important, and at this stage there will be formation of male and female gamete. So where do you think male gametes are produced? In case of flowering plant, what is the location for production of male gametes?
Anther.
Very good. Anther. So male gametes are produced inside anther, and as male gametes are having another name, they are small in number and small in size and numerous in number. So we call them microspore. So they are produced inside anther via a process called microsporogenesis. Okay, there we use the terminologies for spermatogenesis. Here we call it microsporogenesis. Their reproduction occur inside testis. Here it is occurring inside anther. Clear to everyone? Let's talk about female gametes. Female gametes are produced where? Just now I mentioned. What is the location where?
Ovary.
No. We need to be more specific, beta. Ovary though is all right. But where? Inside ovary, there is something inside which each of the female gametes are produced. Anyone? Yes, Jia.
Ovules.
We need to be this much specific, beta. It is ovules. And as their size is big and comparatively they are less in number. In fact, in single ovule, there will be only single female gamete. There may be many ovules in the ovary, but in a ovule, there will be a single female gamete. So this process is known as megasporogenesis. So obviously we are comparing them with spore because flower is the gametophyte of the angiosperm. As we discussed earlier, in case of bryophyte, gametophyte is the main plant and sporophyte is dependent on gametophyte. In case of other three, sporophyte is the main plant and gametophyte is dependent on them. So inside flower, there will be female and male gametophytes. The rest of the plant that we see, जो आम का जो पेड़ हमें दिखता है, that is actually sporophyte. Clear to everyone? So the pollen grain is known as male gametophyte and ovules are known as female gametophytes. Clear to everyone? Yes, no.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So second thing is fertilization. So fertilization means same here, union of male and female gametes. But in case of human, there is only one possibility as they are unisexual organisms. So there was a possibility of fertilization which is cross. In case of plants, there are fertilization. Two possibilities are there. One is self-fertilization and other is cross-fertilization. What do we mean by this cross and self? Anyone?
Ma'am, cross means both the gametes from different flowers.
Consider if like a situation is there, I am telling you, different flowers of same plant. Can we consider it cross fertilization? Because a single plant can have 10 flowers. No? If there is fertilization between two of these flowers which belong to the same plant, can we consider it cross fertilization? Yes or no? Yes, it can be
Ma'am,
considered.
yes.
It can be considered as cross fertilization. We will study the types of fertilization later on in detail. For you, just now, you will understand if there is fertilization within single flower. That means the pollen produced by the anther of the same flower is falling on the stigma and reproduction procedure initiates. We call it self-fertilization. If even if the two flowers of the same plant are going through the procedure of reproduction, we can consider it as cross fertilization, and there are further subdivisions of cross fertilization. They can be considered as autogamy, allogamy, and xenogamy. Okay, so fertilization process is very simple. Depends on higher plants to higher plants. There are various mode of carrying the male gamete to the female reproductive part. Now, this procedure depends on plant to plant. The way in case of human, we know that we have a reproductive system designed in a way that gametes are having flagella and they can move through the vagina and uterus and then can reach up to female gamete. It's not the same case here. Here the gametes are not at all motile. So obviously you require to first make them deposit on the stigma. So for deposition of the male gamete on stigma, there are various agents possible. If it is a self-fertilization, requirement of agent is not that much. But in case of cross-fertilization, due to distance, consider एक plant यहाँ है, दूसरा plant 500 मीटर या 200 meters away है. If there is reproduction, then obviously they cannot move and go nearby each other and have reproduction. So we need an agent for pollination. So once that agent is supplied, then the fertilization process starts. Third step of reproduction is obviously, so I am mentioning here, first step of pre-fertilization even is formation of male and female gamete, and second is transfer of male gamete to female reproductive part. Okay, so third is post fertilization. If I compare it with post fertilization events of human being, lots of striking similarities are there, although the main developmental procedure is different. There also there was development of embryo. Here also there will be development of embryo. But we need to understand that the development of embryo in terms of plants are different. They need to be converted into a form of structure which is called seed, and this seed can be viable for longer time. ह्यूमन बीइंग में क्या होता है, एक बच्चे की डेवलपमेंट होती है एंड वंस 9 month is done, that child is coming out of mother's womb and that is called childbirth. But formation of seed is not that much simple. Consider एक seed है जो harvest किया गया, it can be preserved for very long period of time, and after 6 months or even 8 months or 1 year, I can give the seed favorable condition and it can produce a new plant. So post fertilization event which actually is leading modification of zygotes, comma, formation of embryo. As these are seeded plant, they have the capability of production of seed. So the next will be formation of seed, and via germination of seed there will be production of new plant. Understood, everyone? Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
So that is how like reproductive events of plants takes place. Should we continue today or we should stop here? Whatever your suggestion is. Because if we continue, I will be requiring another 15-20 minutes.
Ma'am, we'll do other part later.
No problem then. Kindly go through your textbook. If you find any terminology or part difficult, we can talk. We just actually had introduction of the chapter today. Okay. The major important parts we will start from tomorrow, where I am going to describe the how the development of male gamete was there. Then first we will talk about pre-fertilization, fertilization, and then post-fertilization events. Okay. So as you requested, I am stopping my lecture over there. We will join tomorrow on time and we will discuss tomorrow the further events. Okay. Okay, beta. Bye. Bye to all.
Bye, ma'am.